Oh, I got to tell you, so I was at Costco the other day, so I got with a Costco shirt on. I said, hey, man, what do you do here? He said, I work undercover. And I'm like, well, it's Costco. He said, not today. And I said, what do you mean you work undercover? He said, I catch shoplifters. And I started thinking, who shoplifts at Costco? How do you even do that? Don't mind my pallet jack I'm bringing in. I'll be taking all these Huggies and any cash you have in that drawer. I told him, I said, you have the easiest job here, man. Well, second easiest got in with a highlighter. That's the guy's job. You know they had a meeting. Should we get a security guard or camera? No, go get Ted and a highlighter.
So I have 3 kids, my wife and I. We have 2 boys and a little girl. A buddy of mine had 4 boys. He finally had a girl. His first thought was hallelujah, so they named her Hallie. Isn't that sweet? So my daughter's name is Vasectomy. Yeah, we call her Snippy. It's a Snippy Cho if you're keeping score. I got to stop telling that joke, man. But when I wrote it, she was a little girl, you know. People see us in public, they'd walk up and go, oh, you must be vasectomy. She's just a little girl. She's like, I guess, I don't know. Now she's a teenager, man. Just the other day, she goes, thanks, Dad. That man over there just called me vasectomy. Well, it's going to pay for your car. I'd shut up. She's awesome, man. Clap, you have kids middle school younger. Who has kids middle school younger? Anybody have kids out here? Yeah? Got a few people? Yeah, right. How many kids do you have, man? 2? What are the ages?
9 and 10.
9 and 10. Boys or girls? Boys. Oh, there you go. 2 boys, back to back. That's what we did. You know, boys are easy to raise. Just kind of wake up and run around and break stuff. Then God gave me a daughter. Whew, rocked my world. It changed everything. I had to learn how to listen, pay attention, care. My boys do not understand the daddy-daughter thing. They don't get it. They're like, Dad, you spoil her rotten. I go, yeah, sure do. She gets anything she wants. I go, yep, sure does. She wants a pony. You're going to get her a pony? I go, yeah, I'll get her a pony. They're like, can we get a new Xbox? I go, no, got to save money for a pony. What are you, crazy? Get out of my house. Stop eating my groceries. What are you doing?
I think I saw you in Louisville at the State Fair once.
You think you saw me in Louisville at the State Fair once? Is that a question? What's your question, sir?
Did you have a routine about boldly go?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's a joke I told about my buddy JB, because that's his name, JB. And then when he applied for his driver's license, he didn't want them to think that JB stood for anything. And on the application, he wrote J only, B only, Stewart. It came back, Jonely, Bonely, Stewart. To this day, we still call him Jonely. And where that came from, we were watching Star Trek as kids. And out of clear blue, Jonely goes, when they going to boldly go? What did you just say? I've watched every episode. They ain't never been to boldly go. So now he's Jonely Bonely from boldly go. I was at the State Fair.
Louisville, Kentucky. I think you played in front of ZZ Top or something.
Yeah, you know what? It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember those Louisville girls. girls now. Almost as pretty as Lexington women. Almost. And when you have kids, she'll be able to find everything they can't. I don't know when it happens. I'll never get this. Jackson, my oldest, was a little boy, and he had a DS, little gamer, right? He left it in my truck. My truck's not dirty. It's not in my truck. So we walk in, I look at my wife, I go, it's not in there. My wife's like, let me go look. I'm like, well, go look. No, she was already outside when I said that. I'm not stupid. She came back in 30 seconds. It's right there. Hands it to Jackson, walks off. He looks at me and goes, how does she do that? I'm like, well, your mom's a witch. You ever seen your mom float? Witches can't float. Your mom's a witch. He goes, she can find everything except her own cell phone. Are y'all one of those? Yeah, my wife, it's unbelievable how many times I got to ping my wife's phone. I get a text. I'll be 8 states away from her. I get a text from her friend. Can you ping your wife's phone? I'm like, no. I learned this from my wife and my mother-in-law. You can say anything about anybody as long as you say, bless their heart. They do it all the time. Look at that ugly baby. Bless his heart. Look how fat that man is. Bless his heart. You women are evil. You know that, right? I'll never get the first time my mother-in-law met my dad. Me and my dad went down to AURAB, got the car at the house. She walks out, says hey to me. I swear she looks at my dad and goes, hello, Mr. Cho! My dad's like, what is she doing? I said, well, she thinks she's speaking Korean. He goes, bless her heart. I got time for this. Cool. You ever do that? Look at your watch, put your arm down. Somebody goes, hey man, what time is it? And you always got to look again. We're stupid. I have plenty of time left. I have plenty of jokes left before I get out of here. Anybody have any questions so far? This whole room, just what? I do this at all my shows. Sometimes after the show, we have a question or two, and I'm not around, so now it's a good time. Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been to South Korea?
Have I been to South Korea? I went once, but I don't speak Korean because they didn't offer it in my high school. I took Spanish. That was crazy. Korean people would walk up and just start talking to me. And I was like, ¿Qué pasa, amigo? No cometas, por favor. Who started snacks? I'd have a snack my entire childhood. Pre-game, halftime, post-game. Orange slices. Gotta have orange slices. There's a snack list. I had no idea there's a snack list till my first practice ever. I told all the parents we're not having snacks. This mom ran me down in the parking lot. We have to have snacks. It's going to be a snack list. I said, we're not having snacks. No, we're going to have snacks. See, Jeremy can't play a whole game without a snack. Jeremy needs a snack, or Jeremy can't play the whole game. I'm going, Jeremy's not that good. He'll never play a whole game. Why don't y'all eat at home and come late? How about that, huh? You know what started the whole phenomenon, kids, sports, and snacks? You know what started all that? Soccer. It did, because you have a snack when you're playing soccer because your hands are clean. Explain that to your neighbor on the way out of here. Are you on the snack list? Yes. Yes. That really wasn't a question. It was a comment. Walmart. I'm kidding about the sports. Give them all the snacks they want. They need them. You know, God forbid they go, an hour and a half without. But you need to pop them. Is that your husband behind you? Okay, he's clapped every time I've said pop them.
The weirdest thing about having kids is when they start going to school, you end up hanging out with their classmates' parents a lot. Well, my daughter's best friend's little boy's half Vietnamese, and his dad's name is Me. So me and I were inspectors at a robotics tournament, and it turned to a bad Asian version of Who's On First. Because the director came up and said, hey, who signed off on this robot? And I said, me. He goes, you? And I said, no. Well, then who? Him. Well, who's he? Me. We can do this all day, buddy. So me found out I was making fun of him. He's a grown man. He's had that name his entire life. No one's ever made fun of him except for me. Me. Yeah. So he called me and said, it gets worse. I go, how? He goes, my sister's name is you. I said, you're lying. He goes, I swear. I'm like, wow, how cruel are your parents? We're going to name them me and you and send them to America. That's what we're doing. That'll teach him to talk back. She's not as dumb as one of my best friends. He's dumb with a bag of hammers, man. One time he was riding my car and I flipped on the turn signal and he went, what's that clicking noise? Now, Henry, your car's making like a clicking noise. Going, you're a goobhead, you know that? But it's not his fault because his parents are stupid. They name him JB, that's my buddy's name. And JB's doesn't even stand for anything. That's the guy's name, JB. So when he's 16, he tried to apply for his driver's license. He wanted them to think that JB stood for anything. On the application, he wrote, J only, B only, Stewart. It came back, Jonely, Bonely, Stewart. I swear. He was going, look at this, Henry. Jonely, Bonely, Stewart. Shazam, man. What's that clicking noise? We still call him Jonely, too. And people go, how'd he get that name? We go, we'll tell you how. He's an idiot, that's why. Bless his heart. But this shows how dumb he is, too. You know, in Star Trek where it says, to boldly go where no man has gone before, he thought boldly go was another planet. We're watching Star Trek, got a clear blue one out. He says, when they going to boldly go? Man, what did you just say? Well, every episode they say boldly go. They ain't never been there. Man, why do we hang out? That is Jonely Bonely from Boldly Go. And Jonely's a great hunter too, man, but he's dangerous to hunt with. The way he hunts, he goes, man, if it moves, just shoot it. He'll go, got him, Zeke. Zeke? Thanks for getting that one. Because Zeke's last words are, what's that clicking noise? Now, one of the dumbest things Jonely ever said in his life, like I told y'all, I am Korean. I went to Korea for the first time in my life like 10 years ago. And I told Jonely, I went, hey, Jonely, I'm going to Korea. He goes, God, that's just like going to a different country. Kind of like Boldly Go, enter there, big boy. Now, I don't speak one word of Korean, not one word at all. That's kind of weird for me, because people just walk up and talk to me. You know, I didn't know what to do. I'm just kind of looking at them going, how y'all doing? Get away from me. Funny thing happened, though. I'm waiting on the bus one day, just waiting on the bus. This American girl walked up. At all the Korean people she could have picked, for some reason, she grabbed me. And I swear she looked at me and went, is this the bussy that goesy downy towny?
I looked at her and said, I reckon so.
Welcome to Relation Tales. Please like this video and subscribe. Relation Tales. We're grateful for each and every one of you. Let us know where in the world you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let's begin. The first sign that something was off wasn't the missed dinners or the late night work calls. It was her perfume. Brooke never used to wear anything fancy, just that light vanilla scent I could recognize blindfolded. But lately, she smelled like something new, something expensive, something that didn't belong to our quiet suburban life. That Friday, the house was too quiet. The kitchen clock ticked loud enough to feel like mockery. I come home early, hoping to surprise her. Maybe cook together like old times. We used to laugh, spill sauce everywhere, dance barefoot on the tiles while Sinatra played in the background. But those nights had vanished. Now, she came home late, said she was networking or helping a friend through something. Funny how her makeup always looked freshly touched up after those late helping sessions. I remember that evening clearly, the golden hour light bleeding through the blinds, the smell of reheated pasta, my wedding ring leaving an imprint against the whiskey glass I was holding. My phone lay face up on the counter. I didn't plan to check it, but something inside me whispered, "Look." And that's when it bust. A text from her, short, casual, carefully written, the kind that pretends nothing's wrong. But instead of replying right away, I stared at the reflection in the glass door. My own face looked foreign. A man trying to stay calm while his guts screamed the truth. It wasn't jealousy. It was instinct. Because when a woman starts smiling at a phone more than she smiles at her husband, something's already gone. I don't want to explode. Not yet. I want a proof. Real proof. So I called someone, my friend Mason, who worked as a bartender downtown. "Hey, man," I said quietly. "You working tonight?"
"Yeah. Why?"
I took a deep breath. "You seen Brooke around there lately?" There was a pause. Too long to be innocent. "You mean tonight?" That was all I needed to hear. A strange calm settled over me as I put my drink down. The kind of calm that only comes before a storm. I didn't text her yet. I wanted to wait for the perfect moment, because if she was really out with who I thought she was, I had a message of my own to send. One that would make her lies crumble faster than the ice in her glass. I didn't rush to send anything. I just sat there in the half-lit kitchen, my fingers tracing the rim of my glass as if trying to keep my thoughts from spilling over. Outside, the neighborhood was quiet, porch lights flickering like distant stars. Inside, everything felt too still, too aware. Brooke's message still glowed on my screen, her words perfectly casual, grabbing a drink with a friend, but Mason's hesitant tone from a few minutes earlier echoed in my mind. "You mean tonight?" That silence after his question told me everything. I exhaled slowly and typed my reply. Calm, precise, surgical, cool. Tell Jason his car didn't go through again. I hit send. For a moment, I just watched the message sit there. Then 3 dots. Her typing bubble. She was panicking. I could almost see her eyes widen as she read my words. She typed, pause deleted. Then nothing. Seconds stretched into minutes. Then my phone buzzed again, but not from her. Unknown number. I answered, "Yeah, Logan, it's Jason." His voice cracked slightly. "Look, man, I think there's been some kind of misunderstanding." I laughed quietly. "A misunderstanding. She said you were separated." He rushed out. "She said things were complicated." "Separated?" I said softly. "That's an interesting word for married and living under the same roof." There was silence. I could hear the background noise. A bar crowd. Faint music. Brooks laughed somewhere behind him. My chest tightened, but I kept my tone steady. "Jason," I said, "put her on the phone." He hesitated. "Man, she just stepped outside." "Look, I didn't." "Yeah." I cut him off, voice low. "You did." I hung up before he could say another word. I stared at the phone for a long moment. Heart pounding, not from pain anymore, but from something sharper.
Clarity.
Every small doubt, every late-night excuse, every fake smile, it all snapped into focus. Brooke wasn't at some harmless get-together. She was sitting across from him right now, sipping on a lie. I could have gone down there, made a scene, thrown everything away in one public explosion, but that wasn't my style. No, she'd built her deception carefully, and I was going to dismantle it just as carefully. So I waited. Around midnight, I heard the key turn in the front door. She came in quietly, as if afraid of waking a ghost. I stayed seated on the couch, pretending to be half asleep. "Hey," she whispered, slipping out of her heels. "You're still up?" I rubbed my eyes, acting groggy. Couldn't sleep. "How was your night?" "Fine," she said too quickly. "Just caught up with an old friend, office stuff." "Jason." The color drained from her face. "What?"
I said.
I repeated, setting my phone on the table. "Jason, was that the friend you caught up with?" Her lips parted, but no words came out. Just the faint tremble of someone whose lies were running out of air. I leaned forward slowly. "You might want to remind him to update his payment info. His car got declined again." Her eyes went wide.
"You? What are you talking about?"
I smiled faintly.
"He called me."
She froze.
"He called you?" "Yeah."
Said there was a misunderstanding. Told me you said we were separated. Her breath hitched. I didn't mean it like that. "Logan, please. It's not what you think." "Oh, I think it's exactly what I think," I said, standing up. My voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. The calm was worse than shouting. "You've been disappearing for weeks, smiling at your phone like it loves you back. Coming home smelling like cologne that doesn't belong to me. You really think I would notice?" Tears filled her eyes instantly. It wasn't serious. It was just talking. It got out of hand. I chuckled bitterly. That's the funny thing about lies. They always get out of hand. She reached for me, but I stepped back. "Please, Logan. I can explain everything. I swear I didn't want to hurt you." "Too late," I said flatly. The silence that followed was heavier than shouting. That night, she cried herself to sleep in the guest room. I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling something inside me burn out completely. Not love, not anger, just clarity. By morning, I'd already made my decision. I wasn't going to argue. I wasn't going to beg. I was going to teach her a lesson about deception, the kind you don't forget. Over the next week, I pretended nothing had changed. I smiled. I cooked breakfast. I even kissed her goodbye, before work. And she, thinking she'd smooth things over, started smiling again. But while she was busy rebuilding her lies, I was busy gathering the truth. Mason sent me security footage from the bar that night. Her and Jason at the corner booth, leaning close, laughing like newlyweds, her hand brushing his arm around her waist as they left. That was all I needed. I transferred half of our joint savings into my personal account, sold my shares in the small business we co-owned, and met with my lawyer quietly. Everything was set in motion when she walked through that door the next Friday. Same dress, same perfume, same practice smile. I greeted her like always, but inside I was done being her fool. The next move was mine, and she'd never see it coming. The following week moved with eerie normalcy. Brooke smiled more, cooked dinner twice, even kissed me on the cheek before leaving for work. It was her way of pretending things were fine, of painting over cracks with cheap wallpaper. But beneath it all, I could see it. The guilt in her eyes, the flinch in her laugh, the tremor in her voice when I mentioned Jason's name. I play my role perfectly, the devoted husband who'd forgiven and moved on. But every gesture, every smile was rehearsed because I wasn't healing. I was preparing. My revenge wasn't going to be a messy explosion. It was going to be quiet, deliberate, and precise. Something that would haunt her long after it was over. On Wednesday, I walked in her office building, a box of donuts in hand and a polite grin. Her coworkers knew me well. Brooke had painted the picture of a loving husband. I greeted them warmly, shaking hands, laughing lightly. It all looked innocent. "Brooke's in a meeting," her assistant Kelly said. "Should I tell her you're here?" I smiled. No rush. Just wanted to surprise her. I left the donuts on her desk along with an envelope tucked beneath the box. Inside it, printed photos, the bar, her and Jason, the arm around her waist, the kiss. I didn't need to confront her there. The pictures would speak louder than any accusation. As I walked out, I felt lighter. Not happy, Not satisfied, but calm. For the first time in weeks, I was in control. That night, she came home looking pale. "You stopped by my office?" she asked quietly. I looked up from my laptop. "Yeah, thought you'd like a surprise." Her throat bobbed as she swallowed. "Logan, why would you?" I cut her off gently. "Did you like the donuts?" Her lips parted, no words coming out. She stood there, caught between guilt and fear, the truth crashing down on her. I leaned back, still calm. "You know, Brooke, I used to think people cheated because something was missing. But I realized it's not about what's missing. It's about what they take for granted." Her eyes filled with tears. "I made a mistake." "No," I said, a voice low. "A mistake is spilling coffee on your shirt. You made a choice." Over and over. She broke then, sobbing softly, her voice trembling. "Please don't give up on us. I can fix this." But I'd already fixed what needed fixing my life. The next morning, I put my plan into motion. I'd scheduled a company dinner weeks ago, a formal event at a local restaurant. My company's investors would be there, as well as Brooke's colleagues. She'd helped organize it before everything fell apart. I told her we should still go together. She saw it as a good sign, a second chance. She wore her favorite navy dress, curled her hair, and even hummed while getting ready. Watching her that night was strange. The woman who once held my heart now looked like a stranger rehearsing for a role she'd already lost. At the restaurant, the lights were warm, the music soft, laughter echoing across the tables. I greeted everyone warmly, keeping my tone light. Brooke clung to my arm, relieved that I wasn't distant anymore. When it was time for my short toast, I stood up, glass in hand. "I want to thank everyone here for the trust, for the friendship, and for showing that loyalty still matters." My gaze shifted subtly to Brooke, whose smile faltered just slightly. "Loyalty," I continued, "isn't about never making mistakes. It's about being truthful when it matters most." People clapped politely, thinking it was just another speech. But then, I added softly, "And sometimes the truth hurts, but it also sets you free." As I sat down, one of my colleagues, unaware of the storm beneath the surface, laughed and said, "Beautiful words, Logan. You make marriage sound easy." I smiled faintly. It used to be Brooke's hand tightened on her glass. I didn't say another word, but I didn't have to. The photos had already circulated. I'd sent them anonymously to Jason's HR department earlier that day. Proof of workplace misconduct. By the time we got home that night, her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Messages, calls, then one final buzz. An email notification that she opened in front of me. Termination notice. Her hands trembled. "You did this." I met her eyes calmly. "Actions have consequences. You of all people should understand that." She broke down again, pleading, crying, saying she'd lost everything. But I didn't feel anger anymore. I felt release. The kind that comes when you stop fighting to save something that's already burned to ash. 2 weeks later, I moved out. No shouting, no drama, just a quiet exit. The lawyer handled the rest. Brooke tried calling for days, sending messages, begging to talk, but I was done. I'd built my peace one decision at a time. A few months later, I ran into Mason at a coffee shop. He slid a folded newspaper across the table. "You might want to see this," he said. It was an article about workplace ethics violations. Jason and Brooke's names right there, printed in bold. Both fired. Both under investigation for falsified expenses. I smiled quietly. Guess karma doesn't need help. Mason grinned. "You really played it smart, huh?" I shrugged. Didn't play anything. I just stopped pretending. As I stepped outside into the crisp morning air, the world felt new again. No more lies. No more empty apologies. Just peace. And in that peace, I found something better than revenge. Closure. Peace doesn't arrive with fireworks. It slips in quietly like dawn seeping through curtains after a long, sleepless night. 3 months had passed since I left Brooke. The divorce papers were signed. Our house sold. And the silence that used to haunt me had become something I started to value. It wasn't empty anymore. It was clean. I moved into a small apartment downtown just above a coffee shop. Every morning smelled like roasted beans and rain on pavement. I started running again, something I hadn't done in years. I even picked up photography. Turns out there's a strange beauty in capturing stillness after chaos. But even as life began to rebuild itself, the memories of what happened would sometimes surface without warning. The way she used to laugh at my terrible jokes, the warmth of her hand on mine before all of this. I didn't hate her for those memories. I hated the version of her that traded honesty for excitement. Still, revenge had given me something unexpected clarity. One evening, I ran into Jason. It was at a gas station of all places. He looked thinner, paler, the charm gone from his voice. He saw me before I saw him and froze mid-step. "Logan," he said finally, forcing a nervous smile. "Man, look, I've been meaning to." "Don't," I said quietly. "You've said enough." He looked down. "I lost everything. Job, reputation. She won't even talk to me anymore." I studied him for a long second. "Maybe now you understand what casual fun costs." He nodded slowly, shame written all over his face. "I do." I turned to leave, but then added, "You know, I used to think about hurting you. But I realized you're already living with it. That's punishment enough." He didn't say another word. A week later, I received a letter in the mail. No return address, but I recognized the handwriting instantly. "Brooks," I hesitated before opening it. "Logan, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I've been in therapy. I'm staying with my sister, working part-time, and trying to understand how I became that person. You didn't deserve what I did to you. I hope someday when you think of me, it's not with hate, but with pity, because losing you taught me what love actually was. I hope you're happy. Truly, Brooke." I folded the letter fully and set it aside. For a long time, I didn't know what to feel. Pity, relief, anger. In the end, it was none of those, just acceptance. She'd made her choices. I'd made mine. And life had balanced the scales in its own quiet, perfect way. A month later, Mason dragged me to a small art gallery downtown. I didn't want to go, but he insisted. "You need to get out, man. Meet people who don't talk about bar fights or heartbreaks." The gallery was small, but warm, filled with soft music and the faint scent of lavender candles. I walked through the exhibits pretending to be interested in abstract paintings when I stopped in front of a photo. An empty park bench beneath autumn trees. Sunlight filtering through the branches. Something about it spoke to me. Stillness, peace, the quiet after destruction. That's one of my favorites, too. A voice said beside me. I turned. A woman stood there. Early 30s, chestnut hair tied back loosely, paint smudged faintly on her wrist. She smiled softly. "It's about learning to sit with silence, to be okay with it." I nodded slowly. "Yeah," I said. "That's exactly what it feels like." Her name was Claire. She was an artist, recently divorced herself. We talked about coffee, art, the small details that make life feel human again. Nothing forced, nothing rushed. When I walked at her car later, she turned to me and said, "You seem like someone who's been through a lot." I smiled faintly. "I've been through enough to know peace isn't free. You have to fight for it." She nodded. "Then maybe you deserve it now." That night, for the first time in a long while, I slept without dreaming of what went wrong. Weeks turned into months. Claire and I grew close. Not in a whirlwind way I had with Brooke, but in a grounded, quiet way that felt right. She didn't ask about the past much, and I didn't offer it. Some stories don't need to be retold. They just need to be buried properly. One Sunday morning, we were at the farmer's market, sunlight pouring over the street. She was picking out flowers when she looked up and caught me smiling. "What?" she asked. "Nothing," I said. "Just it's nice not to look over my shoulder anymore," she grinned. "Sounds like peace to me." "Yeah," I said softly. Finally, sometimes I still get messages from people who knew both of us, old friends, mutual acquaintances. They ask if I ever got closure. I just tell them the truth. Closure isn't a door slamming shut. It's the moment you stop waiting for an apology that can't undo the damage. Brooke's name eventually stopped showing up on my phone, in conversations, in thoughts. Jason faded into the blur of mistakes I'd outgrown. And as for me, well, I found something better than revenge. I found myself.